Wow. Wow. A little crisis in the Schmuel Buckman household, whatever the hell it is here. Wow. Hopefully I get my partners back on here. So I hear. I'm going to present while we do this. Share screen.
Gonna weasel some info from him. And me and Jimmy are great friends. Really, like it's not even one of those. No, great guy. Really good friends. And I know Jimmy. And I asked him a few weeks back because I had heard some things, and I'm like, "So what's going on with Sirius? Are you signing? Are you not?" And he was just like, "You know this game. You know them. You know what pieces of shit they can be during negotiations." So, we'll see what happens. He didn't give me a definite answer on anything, but I felt from that, I went, yeah, that's probably not good.
Yeah. Is Jimmy like that during all contract negotiation times, though?
Well, I don't know, because when you took Opie out of the mix, it completely changed the dynamic of negotiations. I'm certain the Sam Jim negotiations were way different than the Opie Anthony Jim negotiations. We always sat there waiting for Dummy to fucking get over his bullshit and finally sign the piece of paper we all knew we were signing. But he had to make so much stress on the whole thing. So I wasn't privy to watch Jimmy and Sam and their representatives negotiate. But from what I heard, all Sirius XM has done over the course of the years that they've been there is lower every year. It got lower. Sure. And they were just kind of relegating them to just another show on the platform. Nothing special, no like big pay for you're a name show. Yeah. So Jimmy probably did some math and figured out he could probably make at least that or more on his own.
There you go, boss. Sorry about that, Kahuna. That was a little bit of a major fuck up on my part.
Ah, you're good.
First time I've ever been through that.
Yeah, well,
interesting.
It's the first time you've been on with an idiot.
Amateur hour. I bet it.
I know. I've been.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah, it's been a long day for the old man.
Mm-hmm. Slow, as we like to call him.
Slow. Mm-hmm. That's funny because that's actually the new thing that I've heard is that people just go, "Oh, he's a slow," He's just your average slow. Why are they giving him a hard time?
Yeah.
So, and I have my fan proud. I will give you this, Proud Poppy. You are absolutely right. Absolutely.
Nice
one. That was my biggest retard moment ever, and I knew it was going to come eventually. I just didn't think it was going to come as soon as it did. So this woman walks up to me and says, "Schmuel,
okay. Nobody
is that you?" And I said, "Yes." And I said, "How are you related to my dad?" And she said, "I'm his sister."
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I was 34, 35 at the time, and this was the first time meeting my aunt.
Yeah.
And my dad was one of 4 kids, now 5, and this woman was born after, like in the middle. I have no idea how any of this happened, but that was why we always were trying to figure out how my dad wound up in an orphanage. But that's the answer.
All right. Well, let's bring up Kumia or something.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for caring about my story, David.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for caring. Kahuni, you know the Kumia, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I met him out in Rochester.
The Kumia. Oh, yeah. How was Rochester? It was good. Hey, I got a question.
Oh, my God. So I can't wait for this coming year.
Hey, I got a question. So, were people asked to park in the area those guys parked when their cars got broken into? Is that
Well,
where they were
that's
supposed
just
to
the
be parked?
parking lot for the club. I
Oh
mean,
wow, that's fucked, man.
yeah, I never even knew about it until I got back here. I didn't hear anything about it out there.
That's so fucked up. All right.
I don't remember what the guy's name was who owned the club, but
Well, Vince runs it, but I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
the name of the
owns it.
owner.
the owner was there, and about
He was
45 minutes before the incident, he was outside telling us all about
No.
the Kia boys
Oh,
and all the cars that
God.
got stolen.
I remember this from WATP.
And then it
Kia
was,
boys. Ugh.
oh, there are some windows. Some people's cars were broken into, and I'm thinking, oh no,
Oh,
And
boy.
I walked out to mine, and there was this one person standing there with like the key fob, and they couldn't find their car. And I was like, I'll drive you around. And people were like, press the key fob. And this poor girl had been pressing it. The car was gone,
Fuck.
but they did get it
No, I
back.
didn't even know any of that was going on.
Yeah.
It was wild, and it was also a fight among going on from, remember Radio Social next door?
Yep.
Kahuna? So there was a fight going on with people who came out of there, and they were the kind of fight Kumia loves. And I went inside and told Kumia they need you outside. There's some black girls fighting out there, and
Yeah.
oh, he was great. He was a lot
Let's
of
go
fun. He's such
see.
a nice guy when you meet him.
Yeah, I know.
sure he is a nice
He
guy.
seems so different when you in person.
Right.
Yeah, everybody. Because everybody just wants to be able to talk shit and be talked shit on, and then that's it.
He's
Well, he
super
needs to
nice.
be
Yeah, but I can't
litigious.
follow him anymore. I mean, it's a little too much. But they keep
Whatever.
telling me he's making huge amounts of money on Black Twitter. I don't even know what it is, and I don't know how it happens.
He said he keeps saying a lot of money, huge amounts of money. I think he's making about $3,000 a month with like subscribers and ad revenue and stuff. Through
I didn't even know there was such a thing as Black Twitter.
It's not it's within Twitter.
Oh,
It's within white
okay.
Twitter.
All right.
Black Twitter is well within the confines of white Twitter. Don't worry, white blood. Don't worry. I'm just joking.
I see Mason in Portland is in the chat. So is Gashes, Aussie guy.
Oh,
Well, you
that's
get some
not our
good
chat.
chatters
This
here.
is not our chat. Don't get confused.
What's that?
No,
I
no,
said-
he's actually talking about our chat, but I know that was a funny joke though. That was a funny joke though, Schmuel.
I didn't see Mason in Portland there. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I thought he
he's
was looking
there.
at the chat on
Raven
screen.
Altman. Fucking idiot.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
can't
well.
read that even.
Oh, Dave.
I was
Yes,
going to
sir.
get my glasses before I came on. Now I
I've
remember
proven,
it.
I've proven I've an idiot like 3 times
Okay,
today.
I'm sorry. I'll
Do
stop.
we want to
pointing it
watch
out.
some of this Kumia thing, or do you
Let's
want
do
to
it,
show me your clip?
Does it show me here? Let's do my clip for since Kahuna loves MLC so much, and to prove out there that I am a Clipper.
I thought you were just a guy.
Oof, that's loud. Jesus Christ.
Can you? Are you able to play the clip, or do you need me to
Yep.
do it?
Give me 1 second. I'm doing it right now. Present. Share screen. All right, now you got to let it in. There you go.
That's what she said.
This was from last week. Tom Myers, Ray, Mr. Killer, everything might as well not even be in this video. It looks like he's about to have a heart attack. I should just put a fucking clown over his face or something.
Are you doing good here, Dave? We can't hear it.
Really?
Yeah, we can hear like there's some sound, but not enough to hear it.
Sounds like the neighbors are fighting.
Okay.
Right.
I'll just send you the link. It's okay.
All right.
So, but continue on while I get the link prepped.
Yeah, that's cool.
And-
So Kahuna, how did you find your way into this universe?
I was just telling Dave this while you were gone there for a minute. But I was actually out working one day, and I'm going, God, I wonder whatever happened to Shuli. I get home that
Really?
night. I get
That's
home that
funny.
night, and I start Googling, and I find Shuley doing podcasts. And I went and watched a couple, and then it was shortly after that he started covering John.
That's funny.
And
Wow.
that was how I got to know both of them, actually. Found both. I remember Dipshit from The Tonight Show and back in the Stern days, but he wasn't really something a memory you hang on to. It's like, oh yeah,
Honestly,
I remember him.
the first and only real memory of John before 2016 that I could really remember, grasp onto, was at the end of Private Parts when he goes, "What am I?" He says some shit he says something at the end of Private Parts. I don't remember what he says, but he has like a 3-second line at the end of the movie. And I remember them talking about like how whatever. Anyway,
It was like after the movie ended, during the credits or
literally,
post credits.
literally after the movie ended. I forget what he says, but he does.
They
say-
watched that
like-
movie out in Rochester on Sunday, and I really wanted to stay for that, but I had to get to the airport.
Well, that was one too many. Dave is talking
Yeah.
about Private Parts.
Private Parts.
Yeah.
The Howard Stern movie, yeah.
Yep.
This is a pretty good fucking movie.
I just got to make a comment. This is the
And I
guy
sent you
whose
the link.
only show is Ray DeVito. That's all he's got. He and Chad.
Is that Dr.
So,
Chow? Hey,
don't give me
Dr.
shit
Chow,
about
dude.
what I do.
Dr. Chow is
Big
he's a
fan.
Minnesota boy, just like me.
Big fan of
We're
the
neighbors.
Chow. I don't like Chad, but big fan of the Chow.
This is funny. Is Kahuna the only guy that remembers Stuttering John from the Night Show?
Yeah, am I giving away my age?
I remember from the Hakeem Olajuwon roast. Oh wait,
Or what is that
Abdul-Jabbar
arm wrestling thing he
Ramos.
always says? It's so fucking dumb.
National Football League Arm Wrestling Championship.
Yeah.
I got the T-shirt.
Didn't even know there was such a thing.
I got the hat.
They all got in trouble for all the players got fined for doing it.
Oh, really? Something in their
Yeah.
contracts or something?
Yeah, it was like they weren't supposed to be doing outside events without NFL approval, and so John was basically a scab. And I do not remember Stuttering John from the Tonight Show, and I'm a couple of years older than Kahuna, but I do when Shuley and those guys played the clips. I did. Then I was like, oh yeah, I guess I did see it. But I listened to Howard for years before I switched over to O&A, and I have to be honest, I don't really remember John that much. Like he was a character on the show, but it wasn't like I ever turned it on the radio and said, "Oh, let me listen. I can't wait till they have Stuttering John on." And I don't know how anybody, I guess the Tonight Show thought that he had written the questions. I don't know how anybody ever thought that.
No.
Because they were obviously like Fred and Jackie. John couldn't come up with that stuff. But and then the thing about John, and I don't know why nobody brings it up, is he was really replaced on the Tonight Show by Ross the intern, who was getting paid nothing. Right? And like he had this intern, John's, the star, but he had the intern take over his job and do everything that they wanted John to do.
Well, I'm glad
They
he's
put
doing
him in the
cameo.
fourth row of the audience.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing cameo now, so he can. It's really a lateral move, some would say.
Oh my god,
I mean,
have you seen the cameo clips?
sure.
Not me.
Oh man, it's brutal. They talked about it yesterday. Here's this one. I thought that I'm actually going to play this clip just because we do the same shit all the time. So let me present.
I sent you the clip, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool.
In the private chat.
Hey, when you were on with
pull
Pineapple
it
this
down.
afternoon, what ended up being the problem with your mic?
Could you hear me?
Oh
No.
yeah, I can hear you right now.
No. Today, could
During
you
the
hear me?
Pineapple show. No, couldn't hear you.
I have no idea, but I was getting
That-
texts from people saying, I don't know what his problem is. I can hear you fine. And, but it was a problem.
To be honest with you, I was driving, so I wasn't, I wasn't hearing anything. But
They
I
do
wasn't.
have a weird fucking setup over there. He's got I'm pretty sure he's using OBS.Ninja,
Yes.
so that he can use a filter from his phone, maybe.
He's doing everything he can to get by with working for free. He doesn't want to pay any subscriptions.
So yeah, sure. But so I think maybe he's doing like a phone filter that goes to a OBS, like as long as it's connected through Wi-Fi or something, and then when you join, it just shows his whole OBS, and then but what you see
Right.
is like a zoomed in version of it at the top, which is so wild.
Yeah,
was-
I don't know.
You know what it was is
Fucking
it wouldn't
people,
have been
dude.
bad, except I wasn't prepared for it, and it was completely different than anything I had seen before, and the sound wasn't working, and just all the usual shit. All right, let's watch John real quick, and Dave, I'll pull that clip that you sent me.
This looks like the
That-
video when he saw the cockroach.
Oh yeah,
Hi,
Dabbletown USA. I gotta subscribe to.
Say that again.
I gotta subscribe to Dabbletown USA. I forgot, so I haven't subscribed to him on my new channel. Yeah,
I don't know where the hell I went. This is weird.
boomer, dude.
Hang on, let me see if
Sure glad he's older than me. It sure feels nice to be younger than, not the oldest guy on the screen.
that's usually me. So
My wife is a couple days older than me, and I always tell her I can never imagine what it's like to be her age.
Okay.
my
Somebody
wife is
significantly older. Let me give you some advice.
yeah. It's funny. There's nothing worse than being old and giving advice, but it's so hard not to do because you just see the same mistakes that you made.
You have me here to produce for you, and you
I've
insist
lived
on
through
doing
this.
all
Listen to me.
You insist on doing all this stuff yourself.
I don't. I want you. You're welcome to do it. You tried and you failed at getting us sound. What do you want me to do?
I probably need some more permission.
Remember when you goofed on David Collins for doing Norman, and he got you back by recording you talking about Sheckler? You really are a fucking maroon, and he gave you $1,500. How stupid you think he feels?
David
Imagine
Collins
if
was
there's a
awesome. I like that.
Mrs. Imagine
Pause it
if
one
there's a
second.
Mrs. Rapey Ray. She's
That's
like,
My favorite part is I know that there's a slight delay, but you can tell there's an intentional. What KB does intentionally is wait till they start talking to start talking over them on purpose.
I hate those people. I fucking hate those people.
Okay, continue.
KB, he really does. He does know how to do this.
why are you giving this clown money?
Yeah, that's it was fucked up. He recorded me without my knowledge, and yeah, he's a
You
piece
want
of shit.
mic in your hand?
I'm a fucking dummy for fucking doing
Yeah,
this. show.
clearly. No, you're a fucking dummy for believing that you weren't being recorded in a room with microphones.
Shut
and
up. I
cameras
get
and
it.
recording.
Is Tom
Get
wearing
him,
blue
Ray.
blockers?
Get him right. Yeah, I don't know what Tom's doing, dude.
Dave, is Tom
mean-
wearing blue blockers?
He appears to be wearing something in the form of blue blockers or something. I don't know what.
Weird.
I don't know what those are.
You're used to not doing real
Ray.
podcasts. I get that. So for you, anyone with
Ray,
a
I
fucking
hope-
tape recorder as a podcast for you, I get
host
it.
my own
Um,
show. Ray,
I
one
understand,
more time.
but no.
Ray.
Normally, when I
Get
do
him,
this,
Ray.
who did Mr. Ray give you $1,500 or me? So I'm already doing
Pause.
I
$1,500
don't need
better than you. So
$1,500
don't worry
for
about
Ray,
it.
Ray.
Just worry about your safety glasses and keep them on. Keep
Ray,
them
You got it.
Ray, when I have
Ray,
a
did you
cop-
goof on David Collins for doing Mark Norman's show?
No, he's literally doing Mark Norman on stage, and I told him everyone starts out doing like a lot of new comics start out doing. He's not doing his jokes, but he's doing his voice and mannerisms. And hey, I'm like, you're doing Mark Norman. Just
Good
a
for
heads up.
him. But he recorded you. Mark Norman never
Ray,
did that.
Ray, you
Exactly.
can
So that's
take
original.
Ray, you can take a tip from David Collins. and
Shut
Mark Norman.
up.
He's doing an actual comedian. You should as well. You should pretend you're a comedian.
Yeah, he did
Am
so
I not
great.
Hey, you know what? I mean, for
Go
being
ahead, Ray.
for a couple of open micers,
Paying the triple.
Ray, read this, please. JJ.
just kicks him out. Well, in the mid sentence, just kicks him out. Like I read this
That's funny.
Ray. I mean, it's
And,
a whack pack, bro.
This is Ray and Tom Myers both think they're above the other. It's a fight at the bottom of the barrel. You know,
I can't stand people that kick others off the screen. That is such a pussy move. I
Yeah,
can't. Even,
Eckle. Yeah, Eckle.
Does,
Oh,
does he do
Apple.
that? I've never
Apple
seen him
did
do that.
He did that to me on his show.
Oh well, yeah.
I fucking no, dude. He tried to lampoon me with bringing Pickles Cage in. Pickles Cage said something. Nobody heard it. I said, "What are you saying over there, dummy?" And then, and then he kicked me off, and then I left backstage just to make it more dramatic.
right.
But
Which
he
left
did kick me off first.
which left me alone for an hour with
Yeah, good.
Apple.
Oh, that happened today?
No, it was
A couple months ago.
he was doing a
Oh.
12-hour stream, and Dave and I were
again, I love
supposed to
those
do
guys.
from noon to 1, and Dave lasted about 4 minutes.
I was out there for 30 minutes, maybe 20, 30 minutes.
Joey took Kahuna's manner. Oh,
Joe Takuna's managing wrench shortly after you got
All
it.
right.
It was tragic.
No,
that
I
could
had
be-
it for
Oh,
it was
oh.
I don't know, we only did that morning show for like a month and a half.
so how did that end? I saw you guys at DabbleCon. Everything seemed fine, and then
Do we want to hear the story?
the next week
Kahuna?
you're gone, we
There
were
was
told
a-
that it was you throwing Spider across a room or something.
Did Shuli get in your ear, dude?
We were supposed to go to breakfast that morning, and I was supposed to meet them. First, they wanted me to stay with them at Joey's hotel, share the room. It's like, fuck that. There is no way. I'm sure he talks in his sleep. 100% positive. I couldn't stay there, so I got my own room.
That's your reason?
I'm fucking stuttering.
Well, it's going to smell like fart, and he'd be talking the whole time, and there's just no way. So I get over there. It was about, 10 o'clock maybe. And
I have a
we were
question.
supposed
Sorry.
to go to
I don't mean
breakfast, and Joey's doing a live stream.
I don't mean to cut you off, but so was he expecting you to go on the trip, like in the RV with him?
Yes, I was
And he wanted you
originally
to-
supposed to fly from. Listen to this. This is so fucking stupid.
And pay
I was
half,
supposed
right?
to fly from Minnesota to Tampa to ride in the same car with him, Mrs. C, and Spider back to Rochester. Fuck. I bought a ticket before he even got that sentence out of his mouth. There's no fucking way I was getting in that car. And then I was supposed to stay in their hotel. I booked
just
my own
wants to-
fucking
he just-
hotel.
He just wants to divide half of everything with you.
I know. I'd be so
The only
terrified
thing,
to be in that
the only
car.
thing he paid for me on my trip was a Five Guys hamburger.
Hell yeah, dude.
It was a good burger.
They
I'm
are
gonna-
expensive burgers.
Yes,
It's a good burger. Good burger. Well, good for him, dude.
but
Good
they
for
were
you guys.
trying to figure out a way to get theirs for free or get a discount or something. They were trying to concoct ways of coming up
See?
with something to bitch about.
That's how poor people think.
I can't take that grifting shit. I can't do it.
They're dumpster divers. But that is kind of sweet that, like, no, I'll buy you a hamburger, but I'm going to go and look in the trash for my own burger. I mean, it's sweet. It's endearing, I guess, for a crackhead.
I'm going to buy you a hamburger. Could you pay half the hotel room?
No,
No, see, but that is kind of funny. See, Joey's smart because it's Joey. It's all of Joey's side is half, and then you're half. So he could come in and just take over the whole room with all of Joey's side. That's half. And
I went in
like,
that
stick you
hotel,
half
man.
the
It looked
bill.
like a fucking hurricane hit in there.
Exactly. Dude.
There was
Exactly.
shit everywhere. It's like, could you imagine if my stuff was in there?
Exactly.
Wow.
I just think. Not
So
because
anyway,
am one, because
I
I'm-
go there. We're supposed to go to breakfast. And Joey's broadcasting live.
Am
He's
I
streaming. And me and Spider, we can hear each other's stomachs rumbling. We're so fucking hungry. So finally, I go to Spider. I said, what do you think if I took and threw you across into the bed? He goes, yeah. So I grab him by his pants and the back of his shirt, and I just fling him across the room. He says he weighs 101 or something like that.
Oh,
He says he's 5'1". I'm going to say 4'11".
okay.
He is tiny.
He's tiny.
He
little boy.
is the littlest. Yeah. Well, okay. You saw him.
Like and subscribe.
Schmuel,
I
you
did
saw
see
him out
I
there.
saw him
Yeah.
too. I think I saw him in did I see him at WATP? Maybe not. Yeah, in Tampa. I saw him.
Oh, he was there
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Wasn't he? Am
I don't
wrong?
know.
Maybe
I don't know.
could be
I
wrong.
wasn't there.
I could be wrong.
But anyway, then we finally went and it was too late for breakfast, so we went to Five Guys. But the big dust up, we did get along out there. I had originally had a flight booked, and then he and I got into a little bit of a skirmish off air,
About what?
and I canceled my trip. Well, about that whole fucking bean bullshit story. You know, the
Oh,
whole,
is this why this guy keeps putting in the chat the beans?
yeah.
I don't even know.
Oh,
What is
tell
the
us the
story?
bean story,
Yeah,
Kahuna.
what's good with the bean
So-
story?
Joey, there was one day where Joey had to go down to the courthouse to help his son sign some kind of papers or something. It was right before the morning show. So Joey,
This was the
you know,
lie, the big
Oh.
lie, right? Go
Okay.
ahead.
Go. Sorry.
yeah, there's always 3 truths to every story, right?
Okay,
Tell us your truth, baby.
This
Tell
is
us-
my
tell
truth.
us the truth.
I'll let you figure out if it's the truth or not. But I get on there 15 minutes
Lagoons.
before the show, and he has this idea about, you know, he got in a fight with a homeless guy.
Oh yes. Okay, I remember this now. I wanted to make sure it's the same.
So-
story. Okay.
If you go back to, I think it's July 29th or July 31st, if you find that stream, you can watch that show. It's only about an hour and 15. You can see about 4 different things in there that make you think that it's not true, right? There's one
His
point in
face?
there where Joey's fucking up something, and I go, Jesus Christ, I've been carrying this bit for an hour. I said it's a bit, but you know, whatever. So he claims that he beat this guy with a pipe that he had in his van, and the guy threw beans on him because he made a comment about his girlfriend's tits, which, you know, Joey made the whole shit up.
Of course.
And then, you know, I get through that whole thing, and then I don't know. We were supposed to keep the bit going for a while, and Joey would sleep through the morning show when we were supposed to be progressing the story. So I was making shit up, and I couldn't do a fucking word. I can't lie. I hate lying.
Good.
So I fucked it all up.
Good.
You know, I took the fall. It
Yeah.
legitimately was my doings, but you know, he definitely had a hand in it too. But he
You're
blew
not a
up
man
at
of
me
work.
because I had claimed that he owed me $200, which was not real.
All
right?
right. Okay.
That was the
Enough.
bail
So-
money.
Okay.
Was that the
The
bail
bail
money?
money, yes.
Ugh, enough
I-
said.
I was supposed to have bailed him out, and
You're all a bunch of con men, dude. Get out of here. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
well,
I'm
I
fucking-
just-
I'm fucking-
I fucked it up. And then Joey got
Good.
mad because I was bringing up that he owed me $200 that he had never paid me, and that was hitting too close to home, right? That's why he got so mad at me. That's why we had the blow up before Rochester. So I had canceled my flight, right? I had that flight booked a couple of weeks earlier, got a good deal on it. And then I canceled it. And then I had Joey talk me in, you know, we kind of made up. So Joey talked me into going again. Well, now the damn flight cost me $300 more.
Oh,
So
sucker.
I ended up going out there, and we got along in public pretty well. I shouldn't say just in public. We got along through the whole thing pretty well. But then it was right after breakfast on Sunday. We're going to the airport. I had to get to the airport to make my flight, and that's when me and Joey had a big blow up in the car going out there. And I don't know. I've got a hard time with forgiveness, right?
Mm.
I still know people that have wronged me from 40 years ago. I hold that shit in me. It's like, it's not enough to really do anything about, but it's there. And I've tried hard to forgive Joey, and I mean, we did apologize to one another
What did he
afterwards.
say to you?
Huh?
I mean, you don't have to tell me what he said to you, but like,
It was a
he said-
screaming match. He was screaming at me the whole way to the airport, and we were getting close to getting to the airport. He was going to
But,
kick
like,
me out of the van.
I have a
I
question.
said, please kick me out of the van. Let
How
me
do
the
you not-
fuck out on the freeway.
How do you not sit there and laugh at that though? At that time, if Joey,
I wanted to
I
get my
understand.
I wanted to get my
I
2
get it.
cents in
What are you
before
yelling about?
I got to the airport. And he would not, you know, Joey, he just does not fucking shut up. So I screamed over the top of him screaming.
Okay.
scared the piss out of Mrs. C and Spider. They were about ready to jump out of the car. And then Joey got mad at me because I scared them, which I'm really sorry that I did, but that fucker will drive you to a breaking point. He will.
Wow.
They're
I
used to
wouldn't-
Joey yelling and getting his way, apparently.
Well,
I
he's one of them that will scream and not let you talk.
I couldn't possibly allow myself to get into a car where Joey was driving.
Yeah, it was a bad falling out.
Well,
But
I mean, he's an idiot. Do you think he was on drugs?
put up
You think-
Ozzy guy's last statement.
Do you think he was on drugs?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I finally made it to the airport, and I thought he'd drive off with my bags in the back, but he didn't. Luckily, Mrs. C got out with me, so he couldn't take off.
That's wild. Or he could.
He was really nice to me, though. Her and Spider, God, I get along with them so good.
So what was was there like a goal, or what was your thought process by
There-
co-hosting with Joey?
There was no end game other than trying to get more viewers, trying to bring in viewers, trying to get super chats. That's it. That was it. That was it.
And were you into it? Were you enjoying it? What was the deal?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was okay. That was the first time I'd ever done anything. Last time I'll ever do it. But yeah.
Because the new guy, Lou the God, who's not new, or Doug God, all that guy does is get shit on for 2 hours every time they do a stream.
I feel bad for Lou because he's not that bad a guy, but he is thin-skinned. He has got to learn
the
to
Dabbleverse is the place. Yeah, the Dabbleverse is the perfect place for somebody with thin skin.
No.
Into the punks.
I mean,
Yeah, thin skin,
Joey's
like Ray.
got some thin skin too, but not as bad as Lou. I like Lou. I like Lou a lot. We actually talk a lot off air, I get along with him pretty well, but yeah, he can't take any shit out of the chat.
Yeah, and I don't think they're a good team together, but that's just if you're trying to grow. But that's just an opinion. Joey plans to stick with them, but I guess I haven't really followed. But I guess Joey hasn't been streaming regularly. He's going to do.
He's talking about doing
A
premieres.
pre-recorded show in the mornings.
That'll flop. I don't even see that happening.
Well, because pre-recorded shows do so well on YouTube.
Yeah, look at
Is that being
Melton's
sarcastic?
24-hour streams. You go in there and there's 21 people consistently. There's nobody there.
Yeah, and he pulls a lot on his live shows. I don't.
Oh yeah. He does well.
I think
Yeah,
last year he was 6th in comedy by the same metrics we use to look at MLC stats this year. And because of
And
super
that's
tips, probably
sup-
gone down.
The super chats, you mean?
Super chat,
And-
yeah, number 6 super chatted show in the comedy section of the U.S. on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know how Super Tips is doing, but I see it a lot, and I hope it works.
Sounds like Melton kind of had a falling out with that Moody over that whole thing, or sounds like there must be
Well,
a
I don't-
company backing that Super Tips thing. They're kind of kicking Melton to the curb.
What?
Yeah, I
Is
think
that what
Melton.
happened?
Well,
No,
he's
I-
going to get his pay. He's just not going to have a lot of say in anything anymore. That's my understanding. I
I
could be
didn't
wrong.
hear any of this.
I could be
Well,
wrong.
basically, Melton was superfluous to the process. He got it up and he got it going. From what Melton said, right? He got it up and he got it going.
That's the
And
way I
now
understand.
they want to
I
move
ain't
on.
seen that.
Yeah, but he's either going to be paid or, I mean, he's going to make money off it. I mean,
Yeah, it
I mean,
doesn't
still-
sound like the pay structure is going to change any.
and this
It
stuff
was-
goes,
that's-
it
but
happens.
Supertube.gg is a pretty good brand.
And he
Are there
certainly
other
doesn't-
places outside
do
of the Dabbleverse that use that technology?
I mean, Dick Masterson, I think, might start using it. Not really right now. It's mostly Dabbleverse centric people, but they're looking to expand, I'm sure. But there's
Well, that's the reason why the people are interested in it is they want to bring it into gamers.
yeah.
They think
Super
those
tip.
would be the best
It's
people
it's
for it.
It's a good name. That's the I think in the whole all of this, if Patrick Melton loses that name, that's kind of fucked up. Because I like Super Tip.
Yeah, they're funny.
And
Benchmania.
OJ, he's talking about coming up with
Caravello.
he's gonna have a spider super tip
That-
pretty soon.
Dabble versus adjacent, sort of though. Bob Levy.
yeah, those guys are dabblers. I mean, right?
Bob Levy will never get super tips.
It's all been engulfed now. Like
Well, there's like the Shuley doesn't want to use it. KB's
That I
not
don't
gonna use it.
understand. I don't get
he
that.
doesn't want to use it. What do you mean?
He doesn't want to use super tips. They
Oh yeah.
they have a I think he and Melton had a falling out that I don't think ever really resolved itself.
Oh,
reached
maybe
a
Melton
time.
won't let him use it.
No, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I think it's that Shuley isn't asking and Melton isn't offering. But if Shuley asked, I think Melton would do.
I think it's kind of foolish for Shuley not to do it because he'd be getting 90% of the money. Melton's only getting probably 5, maybe 10. I don't know.
Well, Super Tips takes 10, but the
Right.
I mean,
But I'm sure that goes to the. Oh yeah. Melton would be getting his cut out of the 10, wouldn't he?
right.
Yeah.
Well-
so he's
well,
probably only getting 2 to
but-
5.
But like I'm sure ESO or at least Frog knew. I'm sure they know about like things like stream elements and shit. Like all that shit's practically free. That they all also have text to speech. Like I get it. It's the AI voices, like the character voices. All that shit's cool.
Well, the
But
character
like if you really
character
cared about the
voices make it
percentage-
though, Dave.
But if you really cared about the percentage all that much, which maybe he will in the future, then he'd probably already be using something like that too as like an alternative. He doesn't even offer it as an alternative, really.
So I think that Shuley tried. I'm looking at this post. I think Shuley actually tried it once. And
Exactly.
there's a
He's absolutely correct.
right. There's a toggle on that you can, if the person pays like $5 extra, they can go to the front of the queue and it automatically comes up. And so what was happening was Shuley's show was interrupted because all these super tips, voice super tips kept coming in.
How long ago was that?
Oh, about a year, I guess, at least, maybe more. Certainly before Hackamania last year,
You
Well,
have
I
to
don't
have
even
somebody
remember that.
operating it. If
right?
you want it done the right way. Yeah, you have to have somebody
Right.
operating it.
And
Otherwise,
you could
it's gonna
have
pop up when it pops up.
a mix of both. I mean, Patrick, Tukey seems to know how to use it, right?
When it
Although
works.
Patrick complains about it the way he does it. Or was complaining the other day. I shouldn't say he complains about it, because complaining the other day how Tukey does it. And Patrick gave a little primer on how you should have chats appearing on your screen to maximize super tips and whatnot. So I'm going to go. This is an older tweet of
Cool.
Aussies. So this, I would ask the question. I mean, I would say, wasn't Levy sort of one of the original members though with the Shuley show? So doesn't the
bro,
Dabbleverse follow
please.
him as opposed to him following the Dabbleverse?
Okay, so please let's not make. I love you, Aussie guy, Aussie man. I love you too, Schmuel, but let's not make this episode about what the fuck is in the Dabbleverse, please.
It's all Dabbleverse, man.
I'm just fucking around.
Oh, there you go. That's the answer, boys. All right. So let's move on. So was that the last time you saw Joey, when he threw you out of the car, or when you got out of the car at the airport?
Yep. Until he was bugging me to take the fall for it because he was getting so much heat for the $200 thing. So I went on his show, confessed to the whole work, and then as soon as I got out what he wanted to hear, he kicked me off.
Yeah, I don't.
What a friend.
And I'm not here to shit on Joey. I'm just telling the story.
We know that.
I
We
got
know
to give
that.
Joey credit because he is the one who gave me a break to get in here.
Obviously.
You know what I mean? I got to give him props when it comes to that. I had a lot of fun doing that morning show up until shit went south. But God, I was doing so many shows, man. Actually, having this fallout was probably one of the best things that happened because I was getting so far behind in work that I just didn't know how I was going to get everything done. He told me that show was going to be an hour to hour and a half in the morning. Shit, we had 4-hour streams sometimes.
Did you make any money off it? Did he
Yeah,
pay you? Did he pay you?
I got one check.
Oh,
It was a joke. It's like I wasted all this time for $160.
oh,
Nah.
a check,
Nah.
dude. I mean, how much do you think he had made while on the shows with you?
Well, so
In the- in
YouTube
the
takes their cut,
multiple-
whatever
yeah.
that is. He claims 38%. I'm
Okay.
not disputing that. So then he takes what's left, and this is maybe standard with everybody. I don't know. He takes what's left and cuts that in half and puts half into the business, he says.
Sure.
And then the other half is split 50-50. So he's getting 75% of the money.
Well, yeah.
And I get
It's
it.
his
And
channel.
then back when we first started, he told me that he was going to give me a cut of the gifted memberships. I thought, oh, that's
Ooh.
kind of cool. I
How
didn't.
much you-
He never said a percentage. And then when I got my $160, because that was one of those months where Deadpool was probably doing like 500 gifted memberships in a month. That was a lot.
Yeah.
If I could have even got 10% of that money, that would have been significant.
And maybe somebody in chat knows better than I do. Doesn't YouTube only take 30% of the
It's
gifted
different.
membership?
It's different with
They use
iPhones.
Android or the iPhone.
yeah,
They take the iPhone. Apple takes a cut.
Right. Okay.
Right.
I don't know. Some people say 35%. Some say 40.
Okay. I get it.
So
It's all
I
good.
don't dispute that.
Ozzy says he winds up with an iPhone. I don't know if this is because he's in Australia, but if somebody super chats him with an iPhone, he winds up getting about 50%.
Really?
Scumbags.
Yeah. Oh,
Highway robbery, dude.
YouTube is
totally-
terrible, man. And then they take people's channels away for dumb shit.
And when you look at it, I mean, okay, Shuli made $240,000. That was enough for 9th place overall in the
Jeez.
whole United States and the whole world.
the whole world. I thought just the U.S.
I think that stat was globally. Maybe U.S.
So
you're right. No, you're right.
240.
My bad. U.S.
240 has to be divided by everybody, right?
Okay, right. But that's not right.
That's what the
Besides my
channel
point.
made.
Besides my point, right? So to make it's like peanuts in the grand scheme of all of YouTube and all that stuff, which is lame as to why they regulate it so hard, and B also sucks in the sense that they tax so much of it because it is peanuts already. So whatever, I can't. They set the
So
price.
the big shows, you're saying like the shows with 1 million or 300,000 or 400,000, do they do super chats?
So like, not surprisingly, not a lot of them. I think a lot of creators. I hate using that word, creators. Even comics or stuff like that. Like you would think. For one, I'm not sure. Sometimes they might have a license with their advertisers to say that might make this kind of stuff ambiguous.
Right.
Is it considered a paid advertise? I don't really know. But regardless, most of them are like, fuck all that noise. We don't need trolls sending us money, making $200,000 a year when our podcast is making $2 million off of advertising revenue, which some do, whatever. But you can get into some higher numbers when you're making $8,000, $12,000, $30,000 a read. Some of these podcasts they're fucking.
Yeah,
What did I hear? Rogan.
those channels that are getting $5 and $6 a membership, and they have 50,000 paid members. Holy shit, that's some bank.
But yeah, like some Patreon, like even Man Shane Secret Podcasts, they barely even do a Patreon episode, and they have like 72,000 Patreon members. So that's a minimum, $3 to $5 that they're making a month, split by 2. Some pretty nice passive income, I might say.
I listen to the guys who keep saying, "Oh, they can't wait to get monetized on YouTube," and it's like you strive to get
Oh, God.
monetized, then they get monetized, and then it's like, what can I do to not lose my monetization? And
That's why
that's
I
what
haven't bothered streaming on my channel.
I'm waiting for this KB event in Atlantic City. That's got lose your channel written all over it.
Well, dude,
So, do you guys watch Uncle Jack at all?
I've been on his show a couple times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a good dude. I like him. But it's funny, before he was monetized, he had the raunchiest channel on the internet. And as soon as he got monetized, man, he straightened that right out.
Yeah, right. Well, and then you went on Levy game. You got that little Levy bump. He's another one of those guys that like Deadpool and shit. They hang out in there every once in a while.
Deadpool gets all over, man.
He's all over the
doesn't
place,
he's pretty tight with Joey, but he gets all over.
Cool. I like Deadpool.
Wow. So I met Deadpool I'm sure you met him too, at DabbleCon.
Absolutely.
And,
Next time we meet, I'm getting him drunk.
I got to drive him to. I drove him
well
back
with
to the hotel. That was my big Deadpool story.
Cool.
Nice guy, really good guy.
Awesome.
Did you go to that breakfast on Sunday morning?
I did.
So we went there and we had a bunch of people at our table eating breakfast, and Deadpool didn't sit with us. He had been there before us. So he was eating somewhere else. We get all done and we're waiting for the bill. And finally we asked the waiter, it's like, can we get our bill? We got to get going. Oh, you guys have already been paid for.
Wow.
Deadpool bought everybody at our table breakfast before he left.
Wow.
Nice guy, dude. Great guy. Never met him.
I went there for breakfast and I was like, all I wanted was some eggs, and you couldn't get it. That was the craziest menu in the world.
Eggs.
Very fancy.
Yeah, I remember Spider's got stomach issues. He can't eat a lot of weird stuff. So he wanted to just kind of make up something that he could eat, just a little something. They wouldn't do it for him.
No, they wouldn't do it for me either.
He went hungry.
What did they do for him? Like, what did he want him? What did he ask them for?
I don't remember. Maybe just toast.
The whole place is like it's kind of over it's like Middle Eastern, almost Lebanese or something.
Yeah.
And the breakfast is just over the top,
Yeah.
It's like the
Pound of rice.
no, but special like egg pizza omelet kind of thing.
Khachapuri.
Everything was and everything was full with gluten. I couldn't eat it. And like I asked the guy, could I just get a couple of eggs? And the guy was like, no.
We don't do eggs.
And then it took like 20 minutes to get a cup of coffee. And then I wanted to pay for the coffee because I was done. I really needed to go eat. And the guy was like, well, it's all we don't do separate checks. And I just said to the guy, I go, look, $5 is going to cover a cup of coffee, right? And I think I gave him $5 and put $5 on the table and walked out.
I'm guessing they don't have a lot of regulars, repeat business there.
Jesus Christ.
But it's crazy because it's like a pin, it's got pinball and bowling and all this other stuff. You would think that it would have normal food, or at least normal breakfast food. It's just strange. They
didn't have another kitchen somewhere else near the bowling alley?
I have no idea. I didn't go back there, but I'm looking and I'm seeing the fancy pinball machines and the games and all that stuff in the back. And I
didn't even see that stuff.
It made no sense to me at all.
Never got back there.
Yeah,
my food never came. Everybody at the table got their food, and I'm like thinking he left to go get my food, right? And doesn't come. And Cupcake was eating with us, and he was sitting at the end of the table, and everybody was just, you had to stay within arm's length of Joey because he'd inhaled your food too.
Yeah.
2 fists in it. And then I look over at Cupcake and he's sitting there and he's
Joey
not
was?
eating. Get this. I go to Cupcake. I said, how come you're not eating? He says, well, you don't have your food yet.
Oh,
Can you fucking believe that?
that's nice.
I told him right to his face. I says, I have a whole different respect for you, dude. And I said, hurry up and fucking eat before it gets cold.
Sir, sir.
I thought that was pretty stand up for.
Yeah, did you cry? Yeah. Did you suck his little cock afterwards? Dude? You guys go into the little bag.
No,
of his
I
belly
thought
like
that was a pretty big move for him.
That's cool, man. Cupcake seems like a
For
nice
anybody.
I was at a table with 4 people that ordered long before I got there, and they were bringing one meal over at a time. And it was like
Yeah, I think that's the way it was for us too.
the guy across from me, I think, finished before the other 2 people got their food, and I was just, it was a mess. But that's where Aussie asks the question. This is where I didn't see this, but apparently Vinny Paulino lost his mind and the chick quit.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I don't know.
Yeah,
Was
he
that
just,
during DabbleCon?
yeah, it was at the radio social the next morning. It was at breakfast. He wanted like a split check, or he asked for something and she couldn't or wouldn't do it. Totally baffled her, and he lost his shit. And she quit right in the middle of the shift.
God, I never heard that.
Just
Now-
walked out.
Now, I've never met Vinny. Seems like a really nice guy. I would just like to say though, he does seem like a type of dude that would like stand up and then like have to pick up his pants and then start a rant at a lady. Instead, like
He was pretty nice every time I had any interaction with him.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. I just the man that was taken to his limit like Sky King.
He's known as being a really nice guy, but he's also known as being somebody that's tough. Working.
He's not a
for.
morning person. Oh,
He
tough work
demands.
for?
He demands a lot. You know,
Does he at
and
least
at the
put in
point
equal
at that
effort?
time too, he had just lost like 40 pounds. I think he's lost a lot more, but he was probably starving.
But like, what? I mean, what can you possibly be demanding of? Like, how hard is it to do the job? Yeah, of course. Like you know, in what sense? I'm curious. Demanding of people. All right, never mind.
I
like I
lost
struck a
your.
nerve.
I lost you. I'm. What do you call it? It's been a long day for me.
Are you sundowning, bro?
Little bit behind.
You need some ice cream?
So, all right, Kahuna, let's get back on track here. All right, so you got introed to Joey. How you told us earlier?
Well, I was in his chat all the time, you know, and
That's how it all begins, huh?
he
That's
made
the
me a
jam.
wrench early on. As soon as well, I shouldn't say that. But he made me a wrench early on. And I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to do. So then I just, you know, he wanted
gotta
me to
keep
ban
Doom away.
everybody.
You
So I
gotta-
just
you gotta
started
keep-
banning everybody.
You gotta keep Doom
Timing
12,
everybody out.
Doom 13, Doom 14. You gotta keep
See.
all them away. You gotta keep
I don't even
Hawk.
think Doom was around back then, to be honest. Not in that part of the internet anyway.
Oh, he was back there. He was on.
He hadn't mined
Just
that
joking.
terrain yet.
Um,
I hated that timing out shit for
how
Just-
long ago was this?
well, it all ended in early August. So that must started about previous December, January, somewhere in
Doom
there.
Was, maybe Doom wasn't around back then.
Yeah, if he was, I don't remember.
Well, I'm just
like-
I know it's not
Like
the point at
Rochi,
all.
Joey would tell me to just immediately ban Rochi. It's like I hated all this timing out shit. People weren't saying anything that bad.
I know, dude. That's good. You have thick
But-
skin, dude.
What
But-
happened if you didn't ban him? What would Joey do?
Well, I would always let him. He'd leave.
It's okay. It's okay. He's listening.
I'd always time him out just to make Joey happy. I'd time him out for like, 10 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
And then they'd come back, and if they were just going to continue, then I'd ban them for probably 24.
Cool.
I
guy.
didn't want to, but that's what Joey wants. So that's
Good
what
guy,
Joey gets.
Kahuna mod. I like it.
So
good.
that's now if you know when I go into Joey's chat now, you'll notice I don't have a wrench.
I know. That's so.
He tried to wrench me. I ignored his channel for the longest time after our dust up. And then when I finally did go in there, he threw a wrench at me right away. And I got pissed. I was right in the chat saying, take that fucking wrench back. I don't want it. He uses it as a weapon. It's a fucking child's game that he's playing. Right?
Yeah.
I hate it.
You're supposed to be my mod. You're supposed to be my mod.
Fuck that.
That's hilarious.
No, I didn't like banning people, and once I was out of there and that wrench was gone, it was just such a relief. It was such a good feeling.
Obviously,
and now I get along with everybody that I used to have to kick out all the time.
Exactly. That's the best. Let's see. It's cool. Yeah, Buckman's back.
But yeah, so then he tried giving me a wrench, and I bitched in the chat like 4 times, and finally he took it back.
Well, you can always demod yourself. But yeah.
How? I don't think he could back then.
Maybe not.
Modding has changed in the last few months.
Maybe. But I remember looking it up and seeing there's an area you can go into to remove yourself as a moderator from a channel.
An area where?
You got to go. You might have to go into your Google settings. I don't remember it specifically, but we could look it up. I could send it to you. I'll send it to you after the stream.
It's not that big a deal.
But I'm just saying, in the future, if you try to hold it over your head in the future.
No, he tried doing that again here just less than a month ago. After he was having his big blow up with everybody and shit, And I went in there and I was just kind of, softly trolling. I wasn't.
Yeah, not hard trolling. Right.
Well, I don't get into that. Really.
You're terrible.
Nah, I wouldn't do anything like that.
Not even.
But then he put a wrench on me again. I'm like, all of a sudden I chat and I'm fucking blue. It's like, what the hell? I went off again. Get that fucking wrench out of here. Oh, I think it was during Alpha Shot when Spider and Mrs. C came back for that one show.
That's the part of the problem with Joey is he's got like these ideas where they start stuff and then it ends and then it starts and then it ends.
Or never even starts. It's just he puts it out there. Like that Spider and Mrs. C show, that was supposed to have happened a month or 6 weeks earlier. And they were talking about it forever. It never happened. Then they do one show and that was it. They did another one or another 2 a little further down the road, but nothing consistent or scheduled.
Do either of them work?
No. Why would they work?
Oh.
No, they're on disability.
So.
Fuck Joey. He doesn't want to make enough money to lose his disability.
Bro, I mean, if I was Joey and I had 7,000 something subscribers and a couple people watching and donating, that shit would be pumping 24/7, baby. 24/7.
Dave would kill for Joey's subscriber count.
For $10, I'll take a fucking bucket of water and dump it over Mrs. C's head right now.
I think that's one of his downfalls was doing too many shows.
Yeah.
Everybody was just Joey'd out,
I never was Joey'd in. Ever.
But the deal is he kept trying to do new stuff and it was just like,
well,
like
you got
with the
try.
beans, with everything. Yeah, I know, but you got to stick with something for a while.
Right.
You can't just, okay, today we're going to do metal detecting and then we're never going to do that again. And then tomorrow we're going to do, Mrs. C and Spider, and then we're not going to do that again. And there needs to be some regularity to your podcasts. Yeah. Not that I'm a podcast expert, but I mean, if you're trying to make money, that's just business.
Well, you got to have a schedule that people can plan on,
Well, it also takes time to build, right? You can't, and that's the weird part is like, I see with a lot of these people, they get a couple of hundred subscribers or members and they think like, oh, this is it. I've made it. And and the guys that seem to stick around, those are the people that work at it and make it. And I think what's his name? Melton talked about that today with the Chad thing. All the people that are trying to help Chad with the Atlantic City show are all the people who bombed out of the Dabbleverse about a year and a half ago. There's something about Win by 2, and other people have been trying to get in and they can't get in.
Like, you mean Win by 2? Like, people didn't accept him into the Dabbleverse? He's got a
Yeah,
couple
like he
hundred
had a
people watching
show.
the
He thought he was going to be somebody, and then he doesn't get any viewers. And
No, I mean, he gets like 100. He gets raid numbers.
does he? I haven't seen or heard from him in forever. Like
I
he
don't even
doesn't
know who
show
that
up in
is.
any of the things that I do. I don't hear anybody talking about him.
Doesn't seem like he streams all that often. I haven't really caught his videos lately. But apparently he's supposed to help Chad and them with this. Oh yeah, look. All I gotta say out there to KB: be careful. Be careful whose computer you log into if you're gonna use your MLC account, and be careful about taking your laptop to a bar like that, especially with Chad Zumach around.
Have you talked to Melton, or is this Dave Sauer stuff?
Melton?
Yeah, only because he was saying that today.
Oh, dude, I sent a message to KB yesterday during the show.
Yeah, I sent him a few messages myself.
I sent him
Yeah.
a message. I don't trust Chad for licking. I don't know if I trust this Win by 2 guy. I have no idea who the fuck he is with his volleyball podcast.
Well, that
Is
was
what
today's
Win by 2 means?
implication is that Win by 2 is trying to sabotage. He's either trying to
Saboteur.
sabotage this show, or
Shave here.
he's inept.
He has a good setup. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
I got it. I just don't
Got
see
the
how
red
you
bar
set it
set
up in
up.
the play. I've been there. I've been in that Tennessee beer hall. I don't know how you set up pretty much anything because it's so small.
It's 2
But
cameras.
Okay.
Maybe 2 cameras.
okay.
Or-
Still, I'm telling
I mean,
you, it's a really small place.
I guess theoretically, you don't even have to show the crowd, which could make it safer. You don't even have to show the crowd. You just show KB and Chad the whole time.
That's what you have to do.
But then you're gonna show the open micer coming up for Kevin Tony.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I don't think this open micer thing is going to happen.
They said it's gonna happen.
Well,
Why don't you?
Chad says a lot of things, right?
What do you mean, Schmuel? What does that mean?
Chad says a lot of things.
No, Chad says a lot of things. Are
No,
a lot of those
yeah.
things exactly the same thing KV says too sometimes?
only during stand up for some reason.
The backstory
For some
with that
reason,
Kahuna-
Chad's joke seems very similar to Kevin's.
The
wonder why.
backstory on that, Kuhn, is that Chad Zumach charged people last year for a show in AC in Atlantic City, and then did Kevin Brennan's jokes for a lot of it.
Well, what
he
did
was
Kevin have to say
embarrassed.
about that?
Kevin didn't give a fuck. He was across the street at the Borgata, fucking
Throwing a drink at
throwing a
Levy.
drink at Bob.
Dodging ice?
That show was so
While
bad.
fucking Gino and Chad drink for free and make $12 and grift off of fucking 60 people or whatever. You know what I mean? Dude, come on, dude.
But they had
These
a
guys
Is Chad a
these
big
guys
drinker?
Apparently
Not
he's
now,
slowed
according to-
down. Apparently he's slowed down. I don't think he's quit, right? He's never said anything about quitting. He said I've slowed down. It looks like he's lost weight. I mean, I can't say. But
He looks like
got,
somebody I'd get along with in life, but I don't know. I've never really watched his show. I just see clips and
Yeah, I don't know what you call it, but there's a certain type of rich that people get called, and Chad's been making bank lately with or he had been with his Patreon and all this other stuff, and he's like, oh, I got a trainer, I got this, I got that. So he seems like he's spending money. He fixed his studio a little bit, so he's been making money, but he's been spending it just as quickly. So I don't know what that
That's
bodes
the
for the
problem.
future, but
Sorry, who was that about?
Chad.
Oh, Chad.
That's who the conversation.
Everything's gonna be this is how I imagine. This is how a spiral happens, right? You make a lot of money in 1 month, right? But you don't feel it till the next month, And in that month and slightly into the next month, you kind of start to do less. You spiral. You drink a little more because you got a little more cash. And then the next month is even worse. And then that's how spiraling happens.
Right.
Pretty good,
But I
right?
think that's what's going to happen with John, right? So Stuttering John went off. So I picture him going, well, I got this money coming on the 21st. I got this money coming on the 21st. He's probably going to spend a significant portion of it before it arrives.
Half of it
Then it's
right
going to
away.
arrive. He's going to feel rich for 2 or 3 days. And then he's going to realize, wait, I don't have any money. And there's nothing coming in next month.
He's got his
Yeah, I don't
cameos,
know.
dude.
Do you
He's
believe
making
that he left
60
because Vince was
grand
getting a check?
I had a theory that didn't I tell you a theory that maybe Vince was like not allowing him to do the show because he wasn't allowing him to be on it or something? That was one of the theories that I was saying.
It's
Is that
I don't
possible.
know. If you're getting a check, who the fuck cares?
I don't
One-
even, who knows how
well-
much they're even talking about, guys?
Yeah.
You can't. I mean,
He's
I don't know.
he's a
I don't
drunk,
know.
so it's so hard to figure out what the hell's
I don't
going on. Like it's very hard in that head to figure out what he's thinking,
Right?
right? And these guys all come up with the great ideas when they're loaded, and then when they sober up,
What did I do?
what did I do? Who was I with? You know. And then the other thing too is it's like he lies so much, but unlike Joey C, who I don't want to say Joey admits that he's lying, but he even if it's a wink and a nod, you know Joey's lying. Joey sort of accepts that he's a liar. Oh, I'm a convicted liar. What can I do? SJ's the kind of guy who wants you to believe that it's all true. And trying to keep all those balls in the air, that's very hard to do.
I don't know how they do it.
Add alcohol and Klonopin to it, it becomes impossible to do.
Yeah.
And I thought he was using. I was told by somebody who told me some other stuff about him that was true, that he was going to use this time to sober up and work on his family relations. But that doesn't look like it's happening. So maybe it is
No.
just he's got to
He'll
fight.
be back in
twins.
a week if that's the case.
Yeah, but it probably Vince seems like to be. I don't know how to explain it. Vince is always in the background.
my chandelier arrived. I
With
have to
him.
go. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Later, buddy. Nice meeting you. We got to do this
All right.
more with you. Later,
Yeah,
guys.
definitely.
All right, man. And I'm gonna get wrapping up too. Sorry for the low energy tonight.
Shit, we
We've
were
been-
just getting rolling.
We were we usually do about an hour and a half. I try to stay in that number because it goes too long, but we'll bring you back and we'll talk about it. And
Yeah, this
I'll
was fun.
I'll be more with it.
Oh,
at the
yeah?
time. Yeah, well,
I
Echo
can't wait to see that
the-
Schmuel.
the Echo thing really I didn't realize how I was on with him for almost 2 hours, and it was like I didn't realize how draining that was. I'm like, oh, my brain stopped working, and then I had to work after, and having a real job that sucks.
Yep. Yep.
And,
That it does.
Oh man, I would love to sit in front. You said it earlier, like these guys that are trolling all the time, or how do you have the time? I can barely find the time for this.
I don't know when they sleep.
No, are
Look
they
at
not
you go
working,
into
or-
any chat and Rochi's in there. I'm
Yeah.
starting to think there's more than one Rochi, like tag team.
I don't know. I DM back and forth with Rochi and
I do too. He's a
Rochi-
blast.
So hey man, yes he is, Dean, and I'll send you his
Right here. Right here's the Twitter.
Oh, there it is. Where does Kahuna come from a guy who lives in the Midwest?
I am born and raised here
In the
in
Midwest.
Minnesota.
Right. But how
Minnesota.
do you get the name Kahuna if you are from the Midwest?
I've got relatives in Hawaii. We go there a lot. We just got back. We just got back from Hawaii December 26th, I think. Yeah, we
Wow.
got married out there 10 years ago. I was out there 30 years ago. and just had a blast. A lot of things have changed since then, and we always go to the Big Island. That's our island, you know. Everybody who goes there regularly, they have their island. I got a buddy, he only goes to Kauai. I got another buddy, he only goes to Maui every year. It's funny. We never meet up out there because nobody leaves their island.
I've never
But-
been there.
Oh,
I was supposed to go for my honeymoon, but unfortunately we couldn't. But I have family in Australia, and when we were in Australia, it turns out they go to Hawaii all the time.
yeah. Yeah,
And
there's a lot of people from, you know, Tonga and Fiji and Australia and Philippines and anywhere out on that part of the ocean. Anybody in the Pacific, they all go there.
I was just in Vienna a couple of weeks ago, and I was
Yeah, I
blown
saw
away.
one of your streams when you were there.
Yeah, I was blown away by the number of Middle Eastern, like wealthy Middle Eastern people. My wife and I were sitting in a cafe, and we were talking to two young women who were from Qatar, and they were there for 2 weeks and had brought like 3 steamer trunks each with them. You know, and you go into the stores and they're just buying clothes and stuff. It's like it was crazy. It was crazy. And there were also a lot of Chinese people there as well.
Man, I would
So-
think that Middle Eastern people have much better clothing than like Italy, wouldn't you think? Or
Well,
France?
Austria. Yeah,
Austria.
I don't know. I think they like the European stuff and
Huh.
they got it there. I don't know. Maybe there's a cachet to be buying it in Austria. You
Yeah,
know?
maybe.
But I mean, look, they were dressed to the nines. And judging from what they said about their luggage, I was thinking like they probably changed their clothes 3 times a day. You know, like I had cafe clothes and dinner clothes and breakfast clothes, and
Sidewalk clothes.
I was blown away by it. But they were super duper sweet, and everybody I met there was really nice.
Yeah,
So-
the stream that I saw was like very early hours of the morning, the way it looked. You were
Yeah.
pretty much out there alone, were you?
Yeah, I
On the
was. Well,
sidewalk?
my wife was back sleeping, which is unusual.
No, I mean I didn't see anybody else on sidewalks or anything.
No, it was early. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning there, maybe.
Yeah.
Like the sun was just coming up. And yeah, so I was just walking around and I had the camera. I wasn't really showing other people. And it was the first time I had done one of those like walk and talk streams.
yeah.
So-
No,
And it was
good.
6 hours. It's a 6-hour time difference there. So it's 6 hours later than it is here on the East Coast. So it seemed like it was early, but it was probably like 9 o'clock my time. So I would have been up anyway. And I
God,
was,
how long is that flight?
it was about 6.5 going and 9 coming back.
Well, that ain't too bad.
No. And I'm one of those lucky people. I get on a plane and I go right to sleep. Boom. I'm sleeping before the wheels leave the ground. As a matter of fact, when we left Newark, I didn't even know we were in the air. And I don't know whether it was because the takeoff was so smooth or because I was sleeping. But I just
I
remember
was
looking out the
recovering when I was out in Hawaii. I was recovering from shoulder surgery, so I had pain pills with. And as soon as we got on at the Kona airport, man, I took a pill, and yeah, as soon as we left the ground, I was out.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's the best way to fly. I used to fly with I haven't drank in a very long time, but I used to like to take an Ambien and a Xanax and a couple of shots, and then that would wipe me out. The plane flight would be great. The
Knock
problem
an
was
elephant out.
I wouldn't wake up. Like I would get to my destination. It would take me 3 days before my brain started functioning again. Right. And then
You're
the
living
brain
in a
would start
fog
working and then I'd be time to go back home. So I stopped doing those things. But it is amazing though, when you're on Xanax and you're in an airplane and you're hitting really terrible turbulence and everybody around you's freaking out. And you're like, nah, man, we're going to be cool. Pilot knows what he's doing, man.
I don't think I've ever taken that unless maybe I've taken a generic version or something, but Ambien, I was addicted to that for about 3 years.
Yeah.
I was so glad when I got off of that shit.
Ambient's fun what do you call it? I used to take that quite a bit. And I would wake up in the morning and I would look at my phone and I'd be, oh no. Like I would have had hour-long conversations with like ex-girlfriends. I'd have $500 Amazon orders showing up at my door. My wife would be telling me about what a wonderful conversation we had the night before, and I wouldn't remember any of it. None of it.
That's too funny. I've only done the Amazon thing once. I ended up getting a package one time that I remember looking at it, but I don't remember ordering it.
Yeah.
It only happened one time.
I feel like I'm personally keeping Jeff Bezos in billions with the money I spend on Amazon.
Yeah, we got UPS is here every day. Between my wife and I, it's every day.
We're up here at the condo we have up here. The hallway looks like a corporate mail room at the end of the day. I mean, it's just packages and packages. And it's what's interesting is you go down and look for yours or you'll go checking your mail. It's the same people all the time getting the same thing. And I know I'm guilty of that too, because it's like, oh, I need $3 batteries. Let me just get them on Amazon. You know, and I wind up with a lot of stuff. And the missus gets a little annoyed at me.
Yeah, that feeling is mutual back and forth here. I think.
Yeah, mine doesn't spend. I have to try to get her to spend money.
That's the way mine used to be. She changed.
Yeah. I'm lucky. Anyway, buddy, it's been great. I'm gonna go pass out, and you have a good night. And
you too.
We'll catch up soon. Okay.
This was fun.
All right, man.
It.
Take care.
You.
Thanks. Bye.
Good night.